Hey everyone, welcome to Filmme Talk, a podcast where two gals talk film, television, and everything in between the reels. I'm your host, Eliana Melendez, and I'm joined here by my lovely co-host, Josie Melendez, as always. And welcome to our new crib. Welcome to our new pad.
Yes.
We're debuting independently after a year of putting in some work with this show, and we're really excited to see where it goes. We're kind of short on time. This isn't going to be a regular schmegular full podcast episode as usual. We will be doing that very shortly this week, but we need to get ahead of the game with a little non-spoiler review of the highly anticipated new DC Comics Warner Brothers feature film blockbuster directed by Matt Reeves. The Batman. We saw The Batman. Fantastic, incredible, groundbreaking, show-stopping, spectacular.
Let's cut to the chase. It was great. It was delicious. It's my favorite movie of 2022. And I know you're probably going to make fun of me because I'm always saying that about a new film I watch, like Fire of Love at Sundance. Exquisite. But you know what? I like The Batman more. And if that doesn't say something, go out, watch it. Yeah. But it's good. We loved it.
She has spoken her truth.
I actually got to see it before Ileana by one day. So it was just agony because it was basically me like, Ileana, you need to see it already. And it's like, I know you're going to watch it soon. But it was an agonizing way because I needed someone to talk to. I knew Ileana was going to understand because I wasn't anticipating it as much as you were.
I told her to trust the process. I told her to trust in Robert Pattinson because she was a doubter. She was a doubter in the religion.
Got in my head. A lot of people got in my head, which is like, because my thing is, I believe Robert Pattinson to be a good actor and a capable actor. I think it was mostly just the nerves with the film in general, how he would interact with other people, like with the Catwoman Batman dynamic work. Spoiler alert, it does so well.
It's by Panic at the Disco.
By Panic at the Disco. I love Jeffrey Wright, so I was okay there. I was excited for that. We love Jeffrey Wright in this house.
Phenomenal, by the way, obviously.
And Paul Dano was great. So overall, expectations were met. I didn't have that many high expectations, so I'm not like if you're a super huge fan, that would be Ileana's side. But for me, if you're a casual film goer, I definitely think, because I know that the runtime is going to scare a lot of people away. And
yes and no, because Avengers Endgame, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, you're building up to that. And there's like you're going to see a full-scale project which has like different characters, and here it's mostly focusing on Batman, even though he's not the Batman yet. He's just a vigilante, he's vengeance, he's in the shadows.
He's the Bat.
Either way, I know people will be going to see this movie, and I hope people go see this movie because it's just good.
Yeah, I mean, as a marketing major, the marketing campaign has been actually really phenomenal and aesthetically pleasing, so I think with that alone, people have already been pretty hyped up. The first trailer dropped in freaking August of 2020 at the first virtual DC fandom, and people have been, like, foaming at the mouth anticipating for this. Just feral behavior. Anticipating for this film. Well, also the other side of things, there were, people who were apprehensive, hesitant, naysayers, doubters of the Force. So there was definitely a group of people that were, they had their doubts, which is understandable. Not so much maybe with Robert Pattinson, but because of like the creative changes and shifts that the project has had, because this was originally supposed to be directed, written, and starring Ben Affleck. So it was going to be like, it's going to be his next Argo. But that just kind of fell through, and a lot of people were disappointed with that because what we have seen of Zack Snyder's like Batfleck, as the kids say, he was really good. I actually genuinely liked Batfleck, so I was a little bit disappointed, yes, with the new casting, but as soon as I saw Matt Reeves like pop into the picture, everything, I was just put at ease completely, because I'm a huge War of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, like that whole trilogy is fantastic, especially War of the Planet of the Apes. That's my favorite. And Matt Reeves is just a phenomenal visual director, which sounds a little silly to say, but he makes things look really nice.
He just really delivered. I was just sitting there completely enamored with every camera shot, every decision made. Some camera shots might seem silly to some people, but I just thought it was creative. It was out of the box. A lot of the takes felt like gothic and Brent, like a mix of different eras of, like, it was very Baroque, and it just felt like a painting, and it felt very beautiful and moving, despite, of course, the gothic, gritty, dark nature of it all. But still, it was just, especially like the use of darkness and silhouettes, it was just enough to like feel you getting sucked into the visuals of it all. And it's doing something different, and I think I commend it for that, and that's why I think it's probably the best Batman film made up to date.
That genuinely sounds like hyperbole, but I kid you not, it is not one of my favorite, as many people, one of my favorite superhero films is The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is, hailed as one of the number one, or at least the top tier films of the genre.
Because The Dark Knight is great.
It's a fantastic film.
This one is definitely there, and I think it's just a perfect film for a new generation, a new iteration as well of Batman itself. Again, it's before he's actually, because nobody ever calls him the Batman. He's still a vigilante. He's still that person that we don't know we should trust. Like, who are you?
It is like an actual full-fledged origin story, but it's the first time you don't, we don't have to see his freaking parents die again.
Yeah, like so human, and we still dealt with his parents, which was nice. So we get different. So it still feels different, which is nice. It's kind of like reminiscent to, it's kind of like when Tom Holland's Spider-Man entered the MCU. That we still had, like, it did feel like the Spider-Man we've come to know, but still it was different. It was new. So you still had that similarities where you felt comfortable approaching this new iteration of the character, but there was definitely something new that was like, yes, give me more of this. I'm entertained, because you get tired of eating the same old sandwich. If you eat peanut butter and jelly every day, you're gonna get tired. And this was like, ooh,
this was a
nice little Italian
Cubano.
BMT.
Oh, it was a Cubano for me.
It was a Cubano. It was definitely, it had the pickles, it had the pork, it had
the
everything
mustard.
In there.
Yeah,
if you're vegan or vegetarian, it was a vegetarian Cubano. It's an actual thing. Look it up. A friend of mine has a recipe. But either way, it was a Cubano, and it was good. Had layers. It was scrumptious.
I'm appalled by a vegetarian Cubano, but I respect it.
I mean, I respect this person, La Comida de Jeremy. Look them up. They're on TikTok. They're everywhere. Vegan Puerto Rican recipes. I know that this is like an aside, but just saying, vegan Puerto Rican recipes. They made a vegan sandwichito de mezcla recipe.
Okay, I'm listening. I'll link it below now that we're talking about it. But yeah,
either way,
to the Batman review.
Yes. So I always bring. I mean, this is still relevant. I always bring movie reviews back to food. Like, what was it? Yes, what was it that I described? I described Batman as a really nice 3-layered chocolate mousse cake.
It's
like, it's
decadent,
smooth.
it's indulgent, but it's not overwhelming. It's a 3-hour film, but it's not sickly sweet. It's not overindulgent.
Exactly. There's the mousse like kind of like, it's smooth, it's delicious, but you also get the cake there, so there's like balance, but it's not overwhelming. It's just enough for the palate to get something sweet and rich. So it's just like, and I can't believe I keep bringing it back to food, but it's just such a good film. I felt full after watching it. I was like, yes, I may slumber in peace.
That's what I really love about it. It is, it's very, very practical with this 3-hour runtime. Nothing feels forced. Nothing feels like it's filler. There are lulls in the pacing, which I think is going to be its weakest point.
Yes, between the first and the second act. But then after that, it ramps up and it goes really well. But also, it's just, I think you mentioned this in your review, that it does feel like a 3-act play. Because, like, each hour is dedicated to an act of the film. So you definitely feel the axe, but it also, everything is paced appropriately. Everything has a chance to be developed. You know who these people are, and there are a lot of characters in this film, and you know exactly who each person is, and it's easy to keep up with it all.
Absolutely. And what I really love about it is that not only has Matt Reeves directed such a wonderful film, Greg Fraser, who's the cinematographer for Dune, which is one of the few aspects I enjoyed of Dune, he's a cinematographer here, and it's just such a phenomenally shot film that is dark and gritty without being lifeless. It's clean without being sterile. It is still colorful. It has a great use of warm colors that we've been seeing all over the marketing campaigns. It really does like convey what the movie looks and feels like. Standout actors. It's a stacked cast, y'all. Robert Pattinson.
I can't pick one.
Phenomenal. He's a great, dominating Batman who is actually like human and confronted as a character. And Andy Serkis is a phenomenal Alfred. Obviously, Jeffrey Wright is just chef's kiss. He brings such good, dark comic relief to the film that I just adore. I think Jeffrey Wright could not have been a better choice for Detective Jim Gordon. Zoe Kravitz, come on. She channels Eartha Kitt and Michelle Pfeiffer's, renditions of Catwoman and mixes the best bits of them while still making it her own. Marry me! Marry Me, starring Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. Hello? Hi? Mommy?
Again,
I digress.
Panic at the Disco.
By Panic at the Disco. No, I think, you know what I love? What I love about this is that Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz have such magnetic, and, I'm using really, really, overused words, but I don't care. It's our channel.
It's okay. It's true. It's true.
It's magnetic. They have such really great chemistry, and the key, I think if we were to describe this movie in every way, shape, or form, it's slow burn.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
A delectable slow burn. But without being super slow or boring. It's just definitely with the action, it builds up slowly but surely, and it's very, very satisfying when it does pay off. The romance that, the chemistry between Batman and Catwoman, fantastic. It thrives off of tension throughout. And I think, you know what? I think that's beautiful. And the poetic cinema of it all. I think there's a lot of visual storytelling here that is going to be talked about for the rest of the year.
My favorite part was honestly the cat and the bat. Because I am a romance connoisseur. And I just really loved their interactions. I loved where they took it, especially them and their whole motorcycle thing. I just, my heart, I love them. So I honestly think this film has a little bit of everything for everyone, because it has the romance, it has the action, it has the intrigue. Because essentially one thing that we didn't mention that is the best way to sell this film is that it's a straightforward, it's not a Batman film, it's not a comic book movie, it's not a superhero movie, because let's not categorize Batman specifically as a superhero. It is a detective movie. It is about crime and justice, and it's all a mystery, but they're also think Criminal Minds, but better. It's just
think
delicious.
Criminal Minds, but a blockbuster. Think just think Seven, think Silence of the Lambs, think
all of that. Just a sea of delicious is one after the other.
It's very good noir. It's very good detective noir, which is what Batman is supposed to be.
Exactly.
Batman is a detective noir character, and from the very second this movie starts, you are enthralled, and if you know about these things, you know that the people who created this are huge fucking nerds. They and I love them to bits. I think the passion, the fact, these are Batman fans. This is not, this is the type of passion and like geekdom about Batman and his rogues gallery that Christopher Nolan wishes he had, quite honestly. And again, I enjoy the Nolan Batman, but this leaves it in the dust. Every single aspect of this, and the way that the villain was used, the way that the conflict was built up, I think everything was just really, really interesting.
I was so invested.
It keeps you on your toes. Obviously, this is not spoilers, but if you are a fan of Batman, not only the comic books, Year One, Frank Miller's Year One is one that comes to mind a lot. I'm not the only, I mentioned it in my review. My review is going to be linked below as well. If you're a fan of the Arkham games, the Rocksteady Studio Arkham games, or you're a fan of the Telltale Batman games, you are going to lose your shit with this movie, quite honestly. And I can't wait for what else is in store. I completely understand if this, as a standalone film, perfectly fine, perfectly well balanced. Everything's tied with a beautiful little bow. Of course, leaving room to grow, should that be the case. But if it isn't, it's still okay. It's still a satisfying Batman story that we will be revisiting for years to come, quite honestly. I think it's some of the best superhero noir since Logan, quite honestly. I genuinely haven't felt this way about a movie within this genre since Logan. So yeah, no shade to Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder, he has his own style, his own thing. This is definitely not something that I would directly compare to that, even his own Batman, because they are so distinct. But it's just another league. I think this is just simply another league. It's not...
in its own league. It's exquisite. It's decadent. It's delicious. It is, again, I will say it's perfect for everyone, everyone in your family. Someone will get something out of this. It is honestly a fun film.
Your mom, who loves Criminal Minds, she's gonna get a hoot out of this.
The true crime besties, just get all the true crime lovers out there.
The Mindhunter
go watch
fans.
The film,
girl.
The Mindhunter fans are gonna, the Hannibal fans, the Mindhunter
eat it up. They're gonna eat it up.
Everybody's gonna eat this up. Please, I don't even have to beg you to go watch a comic book movie, but it's nice to see them doing something different. And I'm so scared that people are gonna hate it for some reason. But overall,
I think a lot of people who think they're really big comic book movie fans are gonna hate it.
This Eternals all over again. I'm just scared of another Eternals case.
I feel like this is not going to be it's not going to be as bad as an Eternals case because
no.
It's directed by man.
Yeah. I was talking about this today with someone because I was like, I'm scared just because I like it. I'm scared that people are gonna hate it.
People are already hating it just out of principle because they love Zack Snyder so
people
much.
People that haven't seen it are hating on it.
Yeah, you can like Zack Snyder and what he's done in the DCEU, but you don't have to use that to hate on Matt Reeves' work because, clearly Zack Snyder's not coming back, and good for him because, the studio did not treat him as well as he deserved and as well as the rest of that freaking cast of the Justice League, which is a whole other ordeal. But clearly Warner Brothers is learning. At least in trusting their creatives and, trusting in their creative vision. And they did that with Matt Reeves. And it's sad that it had to come to this point for them to give the reins to a director. But yeah, I think this is definitely top tier, just Warner Brothers, DC Comics film in general. I wouldn't count it as DCEU, obviously. It's, it's a whole other thing. It's not the DCEU. But if you want to count it in, the grand, spectrum of DC Comics films, of this century. Birds of Prey is still my number one, but this is at number 2.
It's its own thing. It works perfectly. I think it's definitely up there. Like, now my favorite films that are, like, would be Logan, The Batman, Birds of Prey, and of course Eternals. I can't discount Eternals. So,
of course,
top tier, God tier.
Yeah,
on God.
On God. Yeah, I was saying I still like Birds of Prey better because I think it's a bit of a tighter film than this. Like, it's just, Birds of Prey is just, it's past God tier. It's celestial tier.
I want to see Jeffrey Wright and Rosie Perez together.
I just think
for
that
the girls.
I just think that Kathy Yan and Matt Reeves would be such a really great creative team. But that's just me. I think
throwing it out there.
They're such completely different styles, but
Yeah.
for some reason I think it would just work. They're just, you know, it's kind of that balls to the walls. I'm gonna do some really cool shit with these characters and make it look cool. And
you can just tell that they cared about it, that they loved it, that they wanted to give something worth wanting to see and, like, sitting in a theater for, and just sit through and enjoy and maybe fall in love with, because a lot of people are enjoying this film. So definitely, I guess, final thoughts. Clearly, we liked it. The only flaw, quote unquote, I give it would be the runtime, because again, I am a 90-minute gal, but I would have sat through 5 hours of this. So that says more than anything else I could.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think that Josie was gonna like it. Like, I saw 3 hours and I'm like, she's gonna hate it.
I debated it. I saw this film on the 15th of February and I was like, staring at my invite, like, do I go? It's 3 hours. Yeah. And I loved every minute of it.
It really does, like, as soon as it feels you, like, going, like, okay, where is this going? It reels you back in. Like, it doesn't let you get bored.
There's so many exhilarating moments. So many.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you on your toes. I think it's fantastic. Definitely worth rewatching as well. Like, you know, go see it opening weekend, see it on the best screen that you could possibly find. If you can support your local independent theater to go see it, even better. But yeah, if you are an IMAX, you know, kind of person like me, unfortunately, very much worth it. Very much worth it. The fan screening is
theater. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't imagine the crowd reactions. I can't wait. Because this is we're recording this before the fan screening. I'm going to the fan screening on Tuesday. And I cannot wait to react to this film surrounded by people who are, like, super huge fans of this. It's gonna be definitely a really, really big, even though it's a March movie, again, people are gonna be talking about it. I think it really just, you know, really gave everyone else an unfair chance. I think the only thing that has a chance of, you know, trying to reach this level of cinema, it's Multiverse of Madness.
It set the bar for 2022, and really it might be too early, but honestly, naysayers be gone. This should be in conversation for Oscars. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna say
probably will be.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the Dune of this year.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the Dune.
It deserves that attention, is all I'm gonna say.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same cinematographer, so maybe they will consider it.
It deserves it. Production design was so nice. The visuals, everything.
Very much.
But yeah,
it was giving.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're running around in circles here.
Yeah.
Go watch it. Go check it out. What is your... How shall we close? These are like little review videos. How shall we rate this? I would give it 5-star on Letterboxd if anybody took me seriously.
I would give it 5 stars, and my official rating for this film is 9 out of 10.
I did give it a 9 out of 10 in my written review, but I think I would give it a 4.5.
On Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, she's Rotten Tomatoes approved. We'll link it down below so you can see her Rotten Tomatoes reviews. I assume there's a link for that. You have a page for that? Not a thing y'all got? Yeah. So that'll be linked down below so you can check out all of her reviews that are going up on Rotten Tomatoes. You can also see my review down below. Where can they find you?
You can find me at the Josie Marie on Twitter and Letterboxd.
And you can find me at Captain Melendez on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Instagram. You can freaking subscribe to Filmme Talk here on YouTube. Follow us at Filmme Talk on TikTok. Follow us at Filmme Talk on Twitter. And if you want more of us and you want to see more of what we're doing, be sure to follow us on Spotify. Check out filmtalk.com. We're going to be doing a real, just so much fun stuff this year. I'm super proud. I'm super excited. And man, I can't wait for more. So be sure to stay tuned. We will be uploading a spoiler discussion once the movie has had its official theatrical release. So come back, watch this, go watch the movie, come back, and we can honestly just go off and talk about it for an in-depth discussion. Comment down below if you want us to bring on guests and who you want us to bring on and invite, and we will consider it. We're gonna hopefully do some more dynamic stuff here, and hope y'all enjoy the Batman. It's really good movie. Good movie, go watch.
Good movie, go watch.
Bye y'all.
Bye.